We continue now at the top of Daf Nun Aleph Amar Aleph and Mesechet Kesuvos. This is Kesuvos Daf 51a. The Gemara here continues with Abaya's question on Rav Yosef. Abaya asks, Sof, still at the end of the day, if you're talking about a situation here where you're giving the daughter from these dates which are attached to the ground, but they are ripe, that's what you're giving her in terms of sustaining her, but that is going to be movable property because Kol ha'omed ligzos kigazos dami, anything that's set to be sheared off is considered like it's already sheared off. In other words, if you're talking here about a situation of ripe dates, and that's what you're giving the daughter as mizonos, so then it is considered movable property because it's something that's ready to be plucked from the ground. And to that, the Gemara says, Rav Yosef responds to Abaya, when I say that they were attached and they're ripe dates that are ready to be picked, but they still need the actual tree for their sustenance, and therefore there is a certain requirement that they be attached to the ground, and therefore it's considered, again, something that's considered karka and not metaltalin. And the Gemara continues at the Tudat, Sahu Yasum v'Yasoma, there was a situation of an orphan boy and an orphan girl, Da'asu l'kamei de Rava, that they came before Rava. Amar lehu Rava, Rava said to them, Halu l'Yasum b'shvil Yasoma, give a little extra to the Yasum in order to help sustain the Yasoma, in order to help sustain the girl. Amri le Rabbanan l'Rava, the Rabbanan said to Rava, V'hamar hu damar, but wasn't it the master who said, Mi mekarkoi v'lo mi metaltal, you said that you can only provide this from land and not from metaltal, and not from movable property. Bein lemizone, whether we're talking about sustenance, bein lechsuba, whether we're talking about the ksuba contract, or bein leparnasa, whether we're talking about providing the livelihood, all of these cases, and here you only have metaltalin available, how can we use this for these purposes? So Amar Luhu, so he said back to them, Ilu Rotza Shifcha L'Shamsho. Let's say this Yasam would want a Shifcha, a maidservant, to serve him. Milo Yahavinale, wouldn't we give him that? Wouldn't we give him that little bit extra? So Kol Shekein Hacha, certainly over here where we're talking about his sister, and she's also helping him out, the Ikatarti, now you have two factors to consider. Number one, she's helping him, she's serving him. Number two, she is his sister. So therefore, in this particular case, we can even give from Metaltalin. Rashi over here says, Yasam v'Yasoma ach v'Yachos v'Nechseihem. You have a situation again, a brother and sister, and their property is biyad apotropos. It's in the hand of an apotropos. There's a person who's the caretaker of the property. He's the one distributing it. So he said, Halu l'Yasam b'shvil Yasoma. Give a little more to the Yasam for the Yasoma. Halu l'Yasam mizonos yaseirim. Give him a little bit extra mizonos. Shetizon achos imo. That way his sister can be sustained together with him. And he said again, Di'ikatarti, here you have two factors to consider. Number one, Achoso, it's a sister. And number two, Uta Shamshenu, she's also going to serve him, again, functioning somewhat like the Shifcha. And so therefore, again, in this situation, you can give a little extra even from Metaltalin. And the Gemara continues at the two dots. Tanu Rabbanon, the rabbis taught, Echad nechasim sheyesh lamachrayis, whether we're talking about land, V'echad nechasim she'ein lamachrayis, or whether we're talking about movable objects, movable property, Motziin lamazon isha v'labanos. You're allowed to use that to sustain for the sustenance of the wife and the daughters. Divrei Rebbe, that is the opinion of Rebbe. He does not make a distinction between land and between movable property. Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar Omer, Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar says, Nechasim sheyesh lanachrayis, when you're talking about land, so then motziin lebanos min habanim, you could take from the sons to sustain the daughters, ulebanos min habanos, you can even take from the adult daughters to sustain the younger daughters, the minor daughters, ulebanim min habanim, similarly you could take from the adult sons to sustain the younger sons, ulebanim min habanos ben nechasim merubin, and you can take from the daughters for the sons if there is a lot of property. But you can't take from the daughters for the sons if there's very little property. That's all true when it comes to land. Now, if you're talking about movable objects, so motziin lebanim min habanim, you can take from the sons for the sons, ulebanos min habanos, or you could take from the daughters for the daughters, ulebanim min habanos, or you could take from the daughters for the sons, avalo lebanos min habanim, but you can't take from the sons movable objects in order to sustain the daughters. That is not allowed. And the Gemara comments, afagav dekaimelon halacha kirebi mechavero. Even though in general we hold that the halacha is like Rebbe when he's arguing against one person, like over here, it was just Rebbe against Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar. So really it would seem we should paskin like Rebbe and we should not make a distinction between land and movable objects. But that's not true in this situation. Hacha over here, halacha Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar. The halacha is like Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar, who does make a distinction. The Yamar Rava, because Rava said, Hilchasa, the halacha is, mime karkoi, you take from land, velo mime tatli, you do not take from movable objects. aspects, bein l'chsuba, bein l'mezone, bein l'parnasa. It doesn't matter if we're talking about ksuba, doesn't matter if we're talking about sustenance, doesn't matter if we're talking about livelihood, it always has to be from karka. And Rashi over here explains, motziin min ha-yisomim, you take from the yisomim, motziin lebanos min abanim, you take for the daughters from the sons, meaning to say again, lemezonos lefarnasa, in order to sustain them for their livelihood, ulebanos min abanos, and you take for the daughters from the daughters, leketanos min ha-gedolos, like we said, for the younger daughters, from the minors, from the older ones, from the adults, imein sham elabanos. We're talking here in a situation where there are only daughters in the family, v'achziku gedolos benachasim, and the adults, they took the property, so motziin miyadam v'cholkos b'shava, you can take away from them and divide equally. V'achalek ha-mezonin. Now in this case, we're not talking about mezonos, she'ein habanos nizonos min habanos. You're not sustaining the daughters from the other daughters, lefi shakulan shavas b'yerusha, because in this case we're talking about inheritance. It's only daughters. They are all equal when it comes to the inheritance. Ulebanim min habanos, and then min habanim, and then you take for the sons from the sons. Again, as we said, that's leketanim min hagedolim lachluk b'shava. When we're talking about all sons, you're taking from the adults for the younger ones. Again, this is talking about Yerusha, to divide evenly. Avalo lebanim min habanos b'nechasim muatim, but you don't take for the banim from the banos when we're talking about nechasim muatin. She'ein ben kedei lazim. The point is, there isn't enough to sustain. There's very little property, so you can't take in that case from the daughters for the sons. Elu ve'elu ad sheyivgru. You can't do that. Again, this is until they get older. Da'ami rabbanon habanos yizonu, like we said earlier. The daughters are the ones, they should get the sustenance when there's very little property. V'habanim yishalu al psachim, and the sons, they're going to have to beg, they're going to have to ask for money. Leparnasa, what does leparnasa mean? That's, as we said earlier, it means linadunya. We're talking about the dowry again. So again, the final opinion, the halacha was, when it comes to that as well, you do not take that from movable property. And the Gemara continues with the Mishnah, lo kasav la ksuba. Let's say he does not write for her a ksuba, so then there's an automatic besula gova masayim. A besula will collect 200 for the ksuba. The almana mona, and the almana, the widow, she's going to collect 100 mimnei shru tanai bezin. And the reason is because that is a condition of the court. When a person marries a basula, when a person marries an almana, there are standard amounts, 200 and 100 for the ksuba. And the Mishnah continues, Kasav lo sada shavim monet hachas masayim zuz. Let's say he wrote for her this particular field and it's only worth 100, and that's going to be, there's going to be a lien, so to speak, on that field for the 200 zuz that she is owed in the ksuba. V'lo chasav lo kol nechosim de'isli achroyin l'chsuvasech. And he doesn't write into the ksuba that all the property that I have, there's a lien on all of that property for your ksuba. Chayiv, he's still going to be chayiv. There's going to be a lien on all of his property regardless. Shehu tanai bezin, because that also is a condition of the court. Let's say he does not write into the ksuba that if you are taken captive, I will redeem you and I will make you my wife. Now, when it comes to a kohenes, when she's held captive, also he needs to redeem her, but he's not able to marry her because, again, she was taken captive by a kohenes. That would be a prohibited relationship. So there, the language would be I will redeem you and return you to your town, to your country. So let's say he didn't write that. So chayev, again, he's still chayev to redeem her. Shehu Tanai Bezdin, again, that is considered a condition of the court. That is a Tanai Bezdin. And the Mishnah continues, Nishbis, let's say she's captured, Chayev Lefdosa, he's obligated to redeem her, as we said. V'im Amar, and let's say he says, Haregito Chsubasa, here is her get, here is her ksuba, I'm giving her that money. V'tiftes Atzma, and let her redeem herself. Eino Rasha, he's not permitted to do that. He has an obligation to redeem her. It's not enough to give her the ksuba money and have her redeem herself. Loksa, let's say she gets sick, Chayiv Raposa, the husband has an obligation to pay to heal her. Amar, if he says in this particular case, Haregitu Chsubasa, here is her get, here is her ksuba money, Terape es atzma, she should heal herself with this money, Rashoy. So in that situation, he is allowed to do that. And the Gemara says, money, who is the author of the Mishnah? Rabbi Meir, the author of our Mishnah is Rabbi Meir. The Amar, because Rabbi Meir says, Kol hapoches levesula mimasayim, anyone who gives a besula in the ksuba less than 200, Uli almona mimaner, anyone who gives an almana less than 100, Harezu be'ilas nus, then already if he's together with her, that's considered a relationship of znus, meaning to say, according to Rabbi Meir, it is not allowed to give less in the ksuba. The Rabbi Yehuda, because if you're going to say that our Mishnah follows Rabbi Yehuda, Ha'amar, but Rabbi Yehuda says, Ratza kosev levesula shtar shel masayim, if he wants to, he can write to a besula in the document in the ksuba that he's giving her 200, V'hi koseves, and she can write, his kabalti mimcha mana, I already received the mana. In other words, there is a way of getting around around it, and he can end up that he's only going to give her 100. Uli almana, mana, also by an almana, he can write into the ksuba 100. V'hi koseves, and she'll write his kabalti mimcha chamishim zuz. I already received from you 50 zuz. So again, you see that our Mishnah seems to be Rabbi Meir, who says you're not allowed to deduct from the standard ksuba payment of 200 or 100 for an almana. But the Gemara continues, but now let's look at the end of the Mishnah. It said at the end of our Mishnah, let's say he wrote for her a field that was worth 100, and that's going to be, the lien's going to be on that property for the 200. He doesn't write for all of the property that I have, there's a lien on that property for your ksuba. So still the Mishnah says chayiv, he's chayiv, all of his property, there's going to be a lien on all of it. Shu Tanai Bezdin, because this also is a condition of the Bezdin. But the problem is, Asan the Rabbi Yehuda. That end of the Mishnah, that follows Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. The Amar Achrayus to Sofer. Rabbi Yehuda is the one who says that if Achrayus is left out of a document, we assume it to be a scribal error, and we assume it really should have been in there. There really is supposed to be a lien written into the document. The Rabbi Meir, because if you're going to say the end of the Mishnah is Rabbi Meir, Ha'amar Achrayus lavto sofer. He says the opposite of the Mishnah. He says Achrayus is not considered to be a scribal error. The Tanan, as we learned in the Mishnah, Motza Shtar Chov. Let's say a person finds a Shtar Chov. This is a Shtar again to collect a debt. If, and we'll continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Nun Aleph Amud Beis.